Seriously? Why do we actually go to work? Your answer might be, we need money to buy things. And yeah, fair enough. But think about the actual loop you're stuck in. You wake up, drag yourself through a miserable commute, or just roll out of bed to stare at a screen. You grind at a job for 8 hours. Then you get that paycheck, right? But before you can even enjoy it, it's completely gone. Rent, electricity, phone bills, groceries, boom. You're broke again. So what's the plan? You go right back to work to do it all over again, just to buy the exact same things next month. Just look at your day yesterday. 8 hours working, maybe an hour commuting or dealing with work stress, another hour cooking dinner and cleaning up. By the time you finally sat down on the couch, you had maybe 2 hours left to yourself before you had to go to sleep and reset. And somehow, we call that freedom. Every single Sunday night, you get that heavy, anxious knot in your stomach. And every Monday morning, your alarm blares and your brain just screams, "Oh God, please, not again." Most of us just accept this routine. We think it's the only way human beings can live. We read history books and assume our ancestors had it way worse. We picture them running for their lives from saber-toothed cats or freezing to death in a cave, desperately chasing mammoths just to get a single meal. But researchers who study early human history found out that life wasn't a nonstop action movie at all. Actually, if you look at some modern hunter-gatherer societies who still live the old way, they aren't working all day long. For many hunter-gatherer groups, getting the basics often took surprisingly little time compared to a modern work week. By noon, their work is done. The rest of the day is completely theirs. No clocks to race against, no deadlines. Nothing. Now, some people might say, well, if I had that much free time, I'd just get stuck in my own head. I'd get anxious. What do you even do with that much time? Just lay in bed all day? But see, that's the trick. To a modern exhausted worker, free time usually just means recovering. It means laying in bed, staring at a screen, completely drained, just trying to build up enough energy to go back to work. But ancient humans didn't need to recover from their days. For them, free time wasn't about doing nothing. It was the freedom to do anything. It was filled with the exact things your brain is starving for right now. Sitting around a fire, telling stories, playing, making things with their hands, and actually connecting with a tribe. Existential dread is a modern luxury. We only think boredom causes stress because the modern world has broken our ability to just exist. We've been conditioned to feel like being still is a crime. So how did we end up here? Why are we working our lives away just to keep this massive system running? Somewhere along the line, we traded a lot of freedom for convenience. 10,000 years ago, we invented farming. On paper, it sounded great. More food, bigger cities. But for many people, the freedom of the old lifestyle gradually gave way to much more repetitive labor just to keep the fields alive. We didn't choose the 9 to 5 because it made us happier. We got trapped by a math problem. Farming made populations explode. And once a village turned into a kingdom of thousands, it built strict rules, landlords, rent, forced labor, and today, that trap is even worse. We don't just need basic food anymore. We need a faster phone to scroll on, a plane ticket to a beach just to escape our stress, a nicer car, a bigger place to live, 10 different streaming apps just to distract us from how incredibly tired we are, more subscriptions, more stuff, and somehow, we are still exhausted. And here's the real kicker. The things we buy to cure our stress are the exact reason we stay stressed. Think about it. To pay for the phone that lets you disconnect, you have to stay connected to your boss. To pay the rent on a place you only use to sleep in, you have to spend your entire day working away from it. To pay for the vacation you desperately need to escape the pressure, you have to push yourself so hard that you're too burnt out to even enjoy the beach. We are working overtime to afford the stuff that helps us forget we work overtime. Our comforts are the exact chains locking us to our schedules. That buzzing anxiety you feel on a Sunday night? It's not your fault. You aren't lazy and you aren't broken. Your brain has absolutely no idea what a spreadsheet, a shift, or a landlord is. It doesn't understand working a 40-hour week for digital numbers that automatically vanish to pay electronic bills. To your ancient brain, sustained long-term stress was only supposed to happen during a massive crisis, like a deadly famine, a war, or an urgent survival threat. So when you force your body to push through a modern work schedule, your brain assumes you are facing a nonstop emergency that never ends. And that's why resting doesn't even feel like resting anymore. For many of our ancestors, work had a clearer stopping point. When they found food, the pressure eased. Their free time was just hanging out, talking, and connecting, and it didn't cost a single cent. But your world never turns off. The clock keeps ticking, the bills keep coming, and the pressure never stops. Your brain is waiting for a signal that says, hey, you can stop now, you're safe. But in a world of endless subscription plans, that signal never arrives. We traded our time for a punch clock, and then we traded our freedom for a better view of the prison. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off and you start your day, just take a deep breath. That intense urge you feel to just slow down, sit in the sun, and do absolutely nothing productive, it's not a defect. It's a deeply logical, ancient instinct. It's a quiet whisper from a world that existed long before corporate structures and the invention of the work week. Because at the end of the day, the true measure of a successful life isn't how much wealth you accumulated or how many bills you managed to pay. It's how much of your day you actually got to spend living.